got a plan, no need to fret. Found a way to help that you won't forget. Doctors lost the answers, but she found the key. Empowering ladies, setting us free. Battle in the storm with courage and grace. Shayna's got the wisdom to help you embrace. No more relying on pills they don't know. She's got the strength to help you grow. Feel the power rising inside. Shayna's guidance right by your side. Life's getting brighter step by step. With Shayna's touch, you're gonna prep. Feel the power rising inside. Shayna's guidance right by your side. Life's getting brighter step by step. With Shayna's touch, you're gonna prep. Medicine shelves are emptying out. Finding real strength, that's what it's about. No more prescriptions tying you down. With Shayna's help, you'll wear the crown. Ladies, hear the call, it's time to rise. Shayna lifts the veil, opening eyes. No more shadows breaking your day. With her wisdom, fight pain away. Broken paths don't. Finding the strength deep inside.
Hey,
Melissa.
you ever curious to know what your doctor doesn't tell you or what your doctor can't tell you? Or ever curious about what your doctor won't tell you? Possibly how he's making his bonuses, commissions, risks of the medications that may include death, healthier options, or even cost saving ways going outside of your insurance. That's what we're talking about today. I am Shana Melissa Stockman, a nationally board certified nurse practitioner and RN for 33 plus years, who empowers mostly ladies to get and feel better while reducing your signs, symptoms, autoimmune flare ups, and reliance on medications. Today, we're going to talk all about what the doctors don't and won't tell you. But before we do, I have a very special invite for you coming up. You guys ever have a, say, roof leak or a problem with your car and you wish you had the tools and the know how to fix it and the expert? Well, sometimes our medications are those quick fixes that really don't fix anything much. What if you had the tools and the expert to expedite your journey and save you tons of time, money, energy, aggravation, and ulcers? I want to be that expert for you and empower you with the tools you need to fix your problems so that you don't need the quick fix, pain pill for the headache for now. That's why I want to invite you to mark your calendars. This is coming up very quickly. So mark your calendars for a Wednesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. EST. It is our live Reclaim Your Life super workshop that you can do right from the comfort of your couch. There is a scan that QR code, reserve your no cost seat right now. There are no cost and VIP seats. So please, right now, scan that code. If you're listening from your phone, just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. It's going to be an awesome power hour, not 5 days, 3 days, not a pre recorded webinar. It's going to be fun and interactive. So scan it or go to that link, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Claim your no cost or level up to the VIP experience. The VIPs are going to get a lot of cool perks and use coupon code SAVE50 before it expires. All right, we're going to dive right into it. I love starting off with some good news. There is so much negativity in this world and toxic negative stuff that I want to share some upcoming current events. Now, here I was at the library. This was pretty cool. It's called, I love seeing my books in the libraries, the public and the private libraries. So shout out to the beautiful Plainview Old Bethpage Library for welcoming me with open arms. And then this is another local library to see my bookshelf there this past week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's also in the Sachem Library and Middle Country Library as well. All those on Long Island. All right, here's another pick. Yay, that beautiful lobby they had. Okay, then we have some book signings that I did this past week. This was a speaking engagement, and afterwards I felt like a rock star. Everyone wanted copies of the book. We personalized signed them. They took some photos. We had doctors there, nurse practitioners, cancer warriors, so much more. And thank you always to our sponsors that make events like this possible. All right. Now, I want you to know, if you are suffering with symptoms and you are sick of going to all the doctors and the specialists and all the tests and taking all the meds, and they're telling you this is the best you can get, I want you to know that's often not the case. Okay. I've had almost everybody that comes to me and their specialists were telling them that's the best they can get. First, you need belief that it is possible. Look at this beautiful sunset picture here. I drew the word believe in the sand of Long Island as the sun was setting. The reason I show you this is a picture of my grandma. I want you to know, if you're suffering out there with symptoms, there is a better way. You just need the right tool and the right expert to take you by the hand and show you that. So you have to start off with belief that it is possible. When my grandma was 79 years old, this was way back in the early 90s, her doctors said she's never going to walk out. She's old. And your doctors might have given up hope on you. I'm not bashing all doctors, but a lot of them don't know what to do with you. So they gave up hope she would ever walk again. If you see right here, there is us in 1992 or 1993 when I was a brand new nurse and I started taking care of her. Then in the middle, there she is like a year later, standing up at the Rockefeller Christmas tree in New York City. So I want to show you, her doctors gave up hope. I have to give her that belief. And then we had to realize she had to believe in me and my process. Then we had to take consistent action steps and just never ever quit. So I show you this, that yes, there is a better way. You just may not know of it yet. So have the belief. Listen, if grandma can get walking again at 79 in the early 90s when I was a brand new nurse without any experience, and there wasn't really physical therapy back then or anything, I have hope for you. And I know you are worthy, you are deserving. Now, grandma raised me with naturopathy and powers of the plants and food as medicine, and food is medicine, what I call now food pharmacy. I would watch her eat a banana every day, and in later years find out it was the magnesium that helped her blood pressure and her heart. We would do garlic for anti-inflammation, manuka and honey, baking soda to instantly neutralize stomach acids. And this is what we use. Terms like naturopathy and raw milk and filtered water were not an issue back then, because you know what? Everything we used to help us get better and feel better was from the powers of plants and foods. So we did not rely on those terms. Now, you see here in this next photo, I put grandma up on the big screen. This is a talk I did in an auditorium like a week ago. It held like 200 people. I felt like a rock star. Um, so I show you this to let you know that if you're feeling like, hey, I went to all the specialists, I don't know what else you can offer me. So many of my clients have that. And there are other things that I do that the doctors are not aware of. And that's part of the reason why now I am training doctors, nurse practitioners, case management workers, and social workers. Now, if you look at this photo, that banner was like 6 foot. So that banner of me, so I guess the screen was 12 or 15 or 20 feet high. And I don't know how long it was. So I do in-person talks, because in-person talks I could say a lot more that I might not say here. So check out this next photo. When I started nursing over 30 some odd years ago, there was a handful. The babies got this many of these protections. And now, fast forward, look at 2025, how many they're getting. Average child is getting about 72 to 73 before they become a legal adult age, depending on states, and if they get the extra flu and stuff like that. But it's a moneymaker. What they're not telling you, they're saying, oh, it's safe and effective. They're not telling you it has heavy metals, aluminum, formaldehyde, thimerosal, antibiotics in there. Often they might have fetal bovine, cow or pig, or even human fetal DNA cells or monkey DNA cells. So these are things the doctors are not telling you. I'm not saying to bash them because there are good doctors out there. A lot of them, they don't teach them this in medicine. They only teach them the pros, not the cons. And often with these, there are no cumulative studies that take that baby from birth to age 18 to say cumulatively 72 is safe and effective. And there are no studies, placebo versus these long term, meaning more than a few years. Absolutely no study showing beyond 5 years if there's increased risk of cancer, infertility, or other issues. Now, if you look here, do you guys remember the Brady Bunch? Now, this is how it was when I was little. I don't want to date myself, but when I was little, we had a chickenpox party. If one cousin had chickenpox, we throw them all in a room. We didn't get everyone the protection ahead of time, and that gave us natural immunity. To this day, I am still immune to the chickenpox from having a chickenpox party with my cousins. And this photo is a measles party from the Brady Bunch. Now, moving right along, the I want to share the good news, not just the bad. So a lot of times the doctors will not tell you these risks, these side effects for a few reasons. One, they may not know. Two, they may not be trained in it. Three, if you don't get this, they're losing money because you're not coming in for the visit, you're not coming in for the booster. And then also they get huge commissions. In fact, during this pandemic, during this pandemic, I had a GI specialist that would not take a patient to their office unless they answered ahead of time if they had the protection for COVID. Why? Because if 100% of his patients did not have that, he would get a lower commission rate at the end of the year from insurance carriers like Anthem and Blue Cross. And they have a sliding scale commission based on how many of their patients are compliant with all of this. So a lot of doctors now will not even see you if you did not have it, which is discriminating, right? They're not supposed to discriminate against sex, age, sexual orientation, or this status, right? But they do because it affects their bottom dollar. This doctor did not ask if you currently had signs and symptoms or tested positive. He only wanted to know if you had the protection, and if not, he would not let you into his practice. Now, you see this slide here of it says update childhood with the purple. When I talk about this in person, I can say a lot more. But this goes to show you that JFK Jr. just said, "Hey, a lot of them we should not mandate anymore. It should be up to the parents if they want them to have it. So, for especially for low risk kids. So, 11 of the most serious ones are still, mandated, but the rest are recommended for high risk children only. That means you can still get it for all your kids if they're low risk or high risk. That means if your insurance was covering it, they should still cover it. But if your child is extremely at low risk for a disease, that certain ones are not mandated anymore, like hepatitis B, that's caught blood to blood contact, which is mostly sexual intercourse and IV drug use. Now, here, full disclosure, this slide is showing you full disclosure. I do not accept any money funding from any pharmaceutical company to push any product, or government agency or senior living facility to say, hey, this is a facility, a good one or a bad one. I choose to do what is best for you, not for my wallet. I choose your wellness over my wallet, while sometimes a lot of healthcare pros choose their profits over the patient. So that's my full disclosure to you. Now, you got to realize, ask them if they want you to have this, why? What's their bonuses like? And I don't know if you guys heard the story about Rockefeller and how medicine started, but um, when you look at this next slide here, you can clearly see that Google Rockefeller and how medicine started. And with you, my grandpa was a pharmacist and he died of a lethal prescription interaction. So it is important to know I'm not opposed to medicines when we need them, but often if I find the root cause of your problem, it stops the problem from getting worse. It reverses it. The symptoms go away. Then you don't need the meds to treat the symptoms that aren't there. So I'm not opposed to them when we need them, but here we jump to them way too quickly and way too many of them. And these prescriptions, drugs, are a leading cause of death in this country. Now, when I first started, when you look at this next chart, when I first started practicing, practicing medicine in the early 1990s, they had higher levels before we would put patients on cholesterol meds, higher blood pressure readings before we would put them on a blood pressure pill, higher sugar readings before we would say, hey, you need a medicine for your diabetes. But over years and years, the pharmaceuticals wanted to do more studies proving how effective it is to put more people on it. So, in the 90s, sometimes a cholesterol of 300 was acceptable for a low risk person. Now they want your total under, like sometimes even 150 or less. And they're doing this to try to purposely do studies to show it's effective with people with lower and lower and lower numbers. Why? Because that means it's more people on the medication. Now, more people, they lower the numbers, right? So more people are considered high blood pressure than they used to be. That same blood pressure reading today, if you took that in 1990, when I first became a licensed healthcare pro in the 90s, that person did not require medications according to the standards then. But because we're getting stricter and stricter and wanting more and more people on meds, and that's why a lot of the doctors, it's easy for them. Here, see you next month. I'll write your script. See you next month. I won't do it over the phone. Come back in for a prescription renewal. That's assuring you are dependent upon them month after month and for years to come, where I get my clients independent, where they don't need to come to me for prescriptions. And you know what? If they get that child sick with too many of these, they have a patient for life, a lot more years than getting an adult sick. And I also want to give a special shout out to all the viewers out there. Please like, follow, heart, subscribe. Thank you. Drop a comment. Let us know if you're watching live on the replay. Drop your question. And I gotta move right along here. You know what? A lot of times you ever go to the doctor and they say, try this, try that. Are you guys a damn guinea pig, right? I don't need to do that. After 30 plus years as a licensed healthcare pro with experience, I know what works for each and every disorder. I can hear that. So I don't have to make you a guinea pig. Now, if you look at this next slide, we see that prescription drug usage and these protections have been going up, 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 right? We're prescribing more drugs than ever and mandating more of these now than ever up until this year. I hear that. And because of that, the number of deaths you would expect, if we're getting more mandates and we're on more medications, that our deaths would go down and our life expectancy would be longer. But that is not the case. I have a graph showing that as the number of medications and mandates go up, so is the death toll. And in addition, even though the number of meds are going up, and the number of mandates was going up, the life expectancy was decreasing. So we can't say that the meds are and the protections are causing increased life expectancy, because we're giving more of those now than ever, but life expectancy is down. I'm going to keep going. I'm not sure if we can't change the slide, but this next slide that I wanted to show. Okay, one more. Okay, this next slide that I wanted to show is, a lot of times the doctors do not make you aware of the possible risks, side effects, and healthier options. If we can possibly show the next slide. I recently did a talk about this, okay? Autoimmune worries. This is a medication for autoimmune. And someone in the audience said, oh my God, my daughter's on that. And I said, you know what? Did that doctor go over the possible risks of taking this medicine? And now here is per their label on the medicine. Warning, serious. Now, I don't know if any patient that saw this warning and read it or heard it from their doctor, they would really go on this medication. This medication is for those who have psoriasis causing plaques and symptoms. Serious infection from taking this medication, increased risk of death, cancer, cardiovascular events, clots. Okay, you have an increased risk for those things and an increased risk of death. So this lady in the audience, she's like, oh my God, my daughter just, the doctor just recommended that for my daughter. I said, did the doctor tell her that she has an increased risk of death? I don't think so, because I don't think her daughter would have gone on it. And I said, did the doctor go over safer, healthier alternatives? So I'm not saying not to go on this medicine, but ask your licensed healthcare professional, what are the possible risks of me taking this? Because they often downplay the risk, and ask them, what is a healthier alternative option? Now, when we look at this next picture, Here is, all the autoimmune warriors, they go on these medicines, and the medicines purposely weaken their immune system. So they're sick more often, sick longer with more severe symptoms. Now, also, a lot of times when you're immune suppressed, your doctor wants you to get a mandate, a protection that has a virus in it. It's giving you a weakened virus to help you build immunity. And the old school doctors don't know. And they're telling patients with weakened immune systems who are going through chemo or cancer treatments or autoimmune issues or immunosuppressive meds to take a mandate, a protection that has a weakened live virus in it. Do you know all of those patients are at greater risk to developing that disease? I have seen the live shingles vaccine. Only the patients who have a weakened immune system actually develop the shingles from the vaccine. So please, I'm not saying not to get them, weigh the risks, the side effects, the alternatives with your practitioner and myself. Now, and also a lot of them can cause field toxicity, infertility, other issues, certain meds. Okay, now onto this slide. This lady, I helped her in my 90-day program. When we attacked the root causes, a lot of her symptoms went away. So we started tapering off the meds that were supposed to help her symptoms. So when I tapered her off 4 of her prescription pills a day, that's over 1,000 less pills a year, less side effects, interactions, dependencies, overdose, less spending on medicine. And now only taper off your meds with your licensed healthcare pro. She said this quote, I am off the medicine completely. I don't feel any different. I haven't noticed a single bit of difference the entire time I was taking the medicine, and it didn't even do a damn thing for me. So again, do not suddenly stop any of your meds without the advice of a licensed healthcare pro. But I have helped this people do this again and again and again. Now, when we look at this next slide, here's an example. So for her, I gave her 4 less prescription pills a day. That's over 1,460 less a year, less side effects, dependencies, overdoses. But when we look at this next slide, I want to show you another autoimmune warrior. I helped them. Okay, well, we'll go on to this one. Okay. Another autoimmune warrior, I helped her taper off 9 of her medications. Yeah, this one. Now, let's just round it up for argument's sake. 10 less prescriptions a month, okay? Times 12 months a year. That's 120 copays for the medicines. And even if you just take 120 copays for medicines for the year, times that by an average copay of $30, she was saving $3,600 on just the copay of medicines per year. And now, so people ask me, how much does it cost to get healthy? She's saving $3,600 from the medicine copays now. And if you times that over the next 10 years, that's 36,000 in 10 years, plus all the copays she's saving from not needing to go to the doctors all the time, the double copays at the specialist. Okay, now you see this next slide. I show things like this up in person, but not usually on social media because they get me in trouble. These are very prestigious. I've won awards. I've won VIP international awards from our current president before he was president. And I show you these not to brag or boast, but there's some to show you that I'm a multiple award winner internationally. And sometimes these, what we say about protections and viruses and healthier options can get us in jail, so to speak, or a Facebook jail. You see this slide right here? Now, so I try not to say keywords that can get us in trouble. That's why I always come to my live talks when you can. And when you look at this slide, there's certain words I can't say and I won't say. So if you see me going like this, about a protection or something like that, there's certain reasons why. I don't want to end up in Facebook jail. So I suggest you follow me everywhere. If you see me on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube. There is no cost right now. Click that little subscribe button. When you see me on LinkedIn, hit the follow and connect. When you see me on Facebook, hit the follow, hit set to get notifications. But most importantly, for the love of God, go to worldwellnessexpert.com and get our newsletter. Okay, that is very important because I control that. This way you will get special savings, freebies, upcoming events. And if you look here at the website, it just got a total overhaul, a revamp. There's a lot of things clickable up there. So just hold your mouse over different parts and you can click join the workshop, register for the workshop, get a consult. A lot of things on there are clickable. And click the Contact Us tab, and you'll see a pop-up. You'll get a pop-up. Do you want the newsletter? You should. And you'll see a Contact Us tab with a link tree, that little link tree icon that goes to all of our upcoming events. So always revisit the website. We always have new content, new blog posts up there, and lots of those buttons are clickable, even though they might not say click here. Like, hey, register now for the workshop, that you can do. So I want to tell you why I'm qualified. Okay, because people like, there's a lot of health coaches out there. They're telling you, get this blood work, get that blood work. They're a coach. They have no license to give you medical advice whatsoever. And just because one person got better with their one health issue does not make them an expert, does not mean what helped them with their diabetes will help you. I've been helping people with diabetes for over 30 years, and I know what works and what doesn't. And here is why I'm qualified. I have over 30 plus years as a licensed healthcare professional. I have 4 nursing and healthcare licenses to practice medicine. I have I have 5 college degrees, 33 plus years as a licensed healthcare pro. I've been in the healthcare industry longer. I'm also a fellow autoimmune warrior myself. So I can tell you, not only just from my trials and errors with my own health, but also the life of thousands of people, literally in other states and other countries from around the world. Now, when I had my own autoimmune disorder, the doctors gaslit me. They blew me off. You're just doing too much. You're getting older. Your tests are normal. And you guys might have heard these things, but I knew I did not feel the way I should. Hey, Liz. So always listen to yourself. If you can't get the answers that you need, you can try another doctor, another specialist. But please, just for the love of God, reach out to me. I'll give you a video consultation because I know I can help you. So after I tried their way and it didn't work, and I watched patients on meds get worse and even die from the medications, I knew I wanted something different. Fast forward, I got rid of all those symptoms I had. Now I'm energetic, I'm happy, my hair's coming in thicker, I'm back to my ideal weight, sugars, blood pressure, energy level. All my tests are normal. I no longer have any signs, symptoms, weird rashes, flare ups, shortness of breath. My heart is not failing anymore. And some of my doctors became my clients. But to give you full disclosure, not all of them, because some of them saw that our mutual patients weren't needing to come in every month for the medicines anymore. And they didn't want to know what we did because, in their sick, little, scarce minds, they looked at it as losing revenue. So, you know what? I didn't need a pain doctor anymore. The 2 pain doctors I used to need, one became my client, one didn't want to know what I did because, business wise, he thought he would lose revenue from the clients not coming in every month. But that's the opposite. What's happening with me, even though my clients don't need to come in every month, they're referring their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers. So I am growing rapidly, even though I don't need to see you over and over, month after month, year after year. And if you look here, my cardiologist, and what he said. You know what? He said it was game changer for him. He used to get sick every month, and now for over a year, he one more for over a year he had nothing contagious and infectious, so that was huge. Now, and since then, I've been training a lot of doctors. So if you look at where the doctors are learning, they are learning from me. So if you're like, oh, let me just go to the doctor, residents, the universities are hiring me to train their residents now. These are doctors that already graduated that need additional training. So I want you to know that if you look at where the chefs are going to eat, you want to go there. If you look at where the doctors are learning from, that's me. So there I was up in, I think it was Nashville, Tennessee, at an international convention where I taught thousands of fellow healthcare pros. Now, here's another example of what the doctors don't tell you. A lot of times the doctors, they order the bare basic test. The more tests means they lose commissions, right? When they order too many tests, they worry they got to put codes in there. They might have to argue with your insurance to get it covered. You might get a bill. So they don't want to order the tests on you. And I've had multiple doctors tell me they didn't want to order certain things because when the results came in, they wouldn't know what to do with it. So isn't that scary? A lot of your doctors will not order the tests that you need because they don't know what tests. They don't want a chance that they have to talk to your insurance and argue it that you might get a bill. And when the result comes in, they don't know what to do with it. So they order bare basic minimum. So if you've been going to the doctors and the specialists and getting blood work and told everything normal, I can say 99.9% of my patients that come to me in that scenario, I find things that their doctors miss. Either they said the tests were normal when they weren't, or there was tests that were needed that were never ordered. I have the capabilities now of doing tests on you in any state. And so please reach out to me. I do a consult with you first. I get your blood work ordered. I connected with doctors in all the states. And I want you to know that sometimes it's cheaper to go out of network. I'll give you an example. There's one test that was sent through, let's say, LabCorp with Blue Cross. The insurance was billed $152. The insurance denied that $152 payment for that one test. It was a cholesterol particle size. Then they billed the insurance for $152. If that patient went initially with cash to the lab and said, how much for this test? It would have been an $11 test. So sometimes it is cheaper to go out of network. So don't be like, oh my God, I don't want to go out of network. Another example is if you have a $50 copay on your prescription medicine, but that drug as a cash payer might only cost you $33. So there are instances. I just ordered blood work, $1,000 of blood work for like $300 without insurance. But if I had gone through insurance and that insurance denied the bill, I would have had $1,000 bill. So please know that sometimes it's cheaper not to use your insurance. Okay, the nurses are still on strike in New York, and I want to show you which hospitals this affects. If you have a true emergency, you go to the nearest one. If you do not have a true emergency, please stay away from Mount Sinai, New York Presbyterian, and Montefiore, as well as their ancillary campuses, because those nurses are still on strike. A leopard doesn't change its spots. My nurses are not fighting for huge amounts of increase. They are fighting for safe patient staff ratios. That means more staff per patient. Instead of one nurse to 30 patients, maybe one nurse to, I don't know, 10 patients. So they're fighting for the safety of the patients. They are fighting to keep their own health insurance benefits from being cut down or cut out. They work for hospitals and they are striking in the middle of the cold winter to fight for health insurance. Is this not insane? Now, they are also fighting for safer staffing, because there's a lot of more increase in violence in the hospitals and the ERs, because there might be drug seeking and patients coming off of mental and having mental illnesses and things like that. So I want you guys to know I was offered 400% their annual hourly salary to go past the picket line and take their position, and I could not do it. So I want you to know, my fellow New York nurses, my heart goes out to you. I love you. Next time, strike in the summertime when it's warmer and you're getting a tan on, okay? But I want you to know the agencies are offering me 400 times your hourly salary to step in across that picket line and replace you, so to speak. And I would not do that. But also, if they're paying me 400 times their hourly salary, they're paying an agency double that, probably 800 times, because the agency is taking a cut. So if they're paying this much, you know what? New York Pres CEO, I'm going to go there. He made about 26 mil last year. Do you think if he made one less mil a year, he would have $1 million to get more health benefits for the staff, or perhaps more staff? So that's all I want to say on that. Please stay away from these if it's not a true emergency. Naisna, I love ya. I'm a member, I'm a supporter, I'm a fellow New York nurse practitioner. I belong to the local NISNA chapter, the regional NPs, Long Island State, and national associations. I support you guys with memberships, and you're doing the right things. That's all I want to say on that. Okay, moving right along. You guys ever realize that there are foods that sometimes make you not feel so good, right? Like maybe it's pizza sauce for you, or coffee gives you agita. These are other things your doctors won't, don't, or can't tell you. Now, we know certain foods help you feel worse, right? Like, say, when I have coffee, I get reflux, I get jittery palpitations, sweats. I just don't feel good. I get a real high energy and a real bottom out. So, think about it. Are there foods that you know that don't make you feel well, right? And think about it. Those are called triggers. And I help my clients figure out what their triggers are. And sometimes they could even be fruits and vegetables. So now we know there's certain foods that make you feel worse, right? But instead of just telling you stay away from these 100 things because I don't know your triggers, I help my clients figure out their triggers, so that if milk is not a trigger and you like it, go have your ice cream. Now, if we know those foods can make us feel worse, we should also realize there's foods that can help us feel better. There's powers of the plants. My grandma's raised me with naturopathy since the 70s. I watched her eat a banana for her blood pressure. Now, so we know foods harm us, but there's other foods that can help us. So I don't want to just tell you stay away from these 100. I want to be like, hey, you know what? Eat more of these foods. These are natural anti-inflammatories. And in my workshop and my 90-day program, I go through mindset. I also go through a section called food pharmacy. What foods and drinks are your triggers? What are healthier options in your busy lifestyle to do what I call simple swap out? Swap out this for that. Swap out the candy bar for the fruit and the nuts. So there are foods that can help you, foods for their medicinal purposes to reduce inflammation. And I help you do what I call one pot wonders. Put everything in one pot, 1 hour, set it and forget it. Now, moving right along, there are, yeah, uh, in case you don't know it, I am the autoimmune expert. I am trademarked out. If you hear someone making off my trademark, they're not the OG. It's trademarked. I shouldn't be using it at all. And there's me up at the podium like a week ago, this big auditorium of 200 people. That's my new logo for the autoimmune expert. I thank you for the sponsors. I always thank each and every sponsor. They made books possible for the attendees. All right, moving right along. Let's skip a couple. Here's some of our sponsors. Yep, and let's move right to the next one. Now, you know how I was saying in the beginning, if you were on, that you have that roof leak, right? And you put a bucket under it, and you know it's a quick fix, and it's just good for now, and it's not curing you, it's not solving you, it's not solving your problems, it's helping your symptoms a little bit. So quick fixes, when you put that bucket under the roof leak, it's a quick fix, good for now. A lot of times medications are like this. Now, when I just did that big talk, I looked out into the audience, and I said, anyone here at an audience, an auditorium that held 200 people, anyone here, please raise your hand if you have ever had been cured with a medication from a chronic illness, or know of anybody in this world that has been cured with a medication of their chronic illness. Raise their hand. I don't care if it was cancer, diabetes, heart disease, anyone. Please raise your hand if you have been cured by a medication for your chronic illness. Or if you've known anyone that was cured of their chronic illness with a medication. I looked around. Not one hand went up. Okay. Auditorium held 200. So I want you to know I'm not opposed to medications. They are a quick fix, good for now. A pain medicine for your headache will help your headache at this moment, but it's not getting to the cause. So that headache's coming back and it might get bigger. And then that medicine might lead to an ulcer and then you need another medicine. So medicines are often a quick fix for the current symptom and do not usually cure any chronic illness whatsoever. So when you have that roof leak and you put that bucket, that's a quick fix. That's often what the medicines are. A quick fix, good for now. But like that roof leak, that leak is getting, and the problem is getting bigger. And then you need another bucket, and then you need a mop, and then you need, I don't know, electrical and mold redemption. But what if, when you had that little roof leak, when it was a little problem and you had a little headache, what if you went to the expert and they gave you the tools you need? So if you had that roof leak and you go to the roofer who has done this thousands of times, not try this, try that, he's done this thousands of times. He has the correct tools to fix the root cause of the problem so you don't need the buckets anymore. I know I can do that with your health. Instead of the quick fixes, the medication's good for now, I could be that expert for you and empower you with the tools and the knowledge and the information you need to make truly informed decisions of all available options, including not those quick fixes, but the healthier alternatives that don't have the risk, don't have the side effects, don't have the increased risks of sudden cardiac death, cancers, and all this other stuff. So I want to be that expert for you because you know what? If you have that roof leak, you're going to hire the expert, right? It's going to save you tons of money in the future versus needing electrical and mold. It's going to save you tons of hours, tons of stress, ulcers, and needing electrical and spending more money. I could be that expert for you and empower you with the tools to save you tons of money in the future. Like that client who's on 10 less prescriptions a month, which is 120 less prescriptions a year times 30, that was like $3,600 she was saving on just the medicines, plus the doctor visits, the copays, the illnesses where she's not able to generate any money. So I want to be that expert for you who has done this thousands of times, knows how to do it, knows how to do it correctly without try this, try that, and can empower you with the tools you need. So that's why this upcoming super workshop that you can do from the comfort of your couch. People they don't want to do a 5 day, a 3 day, a 3 hour, a pre-recorded webinar. So I took all the feedback from everyone else's, critiquing, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do a power hour. It's going to be not a evergreen webinar. It's going to be live. It's going to be a power hour, 1 day event, and that is it. So it doesn't matter if you're like, I'm not in New York, you can do it from the comfort of your couch. And you know what? If you can't make it, then you level up to VIP and you get the replay access. This is going to be, mark your calendars, Wednesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. EST. You're going to do is mark your calendar, and you can scan the QR code on the next slide, or just type in worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Claim your no cost or VIP seats. I am limiting the number of seats because I just have to, I can't have a lot of VIPs on. So I am limiting the number of seats. So Wednesday, February 11th, 7 p.m. EST time, it will be live. You will not get a recording unless you level up to VIP. The VIPs, what you're going to get is you're going to get a much deeper dive. You're going to get the intimacy of a Zoom. So I can see you, hear you. It's more fun. It's more interactive. You're going to get a Zoom live power hour, additional power hour for the VIPs. The VIPs are also going to get the digital and printable Reclaim Your Life blueprints with the worksheets and the notes. They're also going to get the VIPs, a live Q&A session with hot seats where you get answers to your questions in real time. And the VIPs, I'm going to do something I probably will never do again. One, two things. The free might never be free again, the free option. And the VIPs, I don't think I can ever do at this price point again. And I don't think I'll ever include a mini consultation. So the VIPs will also get a private mini one-on-one consultation with me. Just so you guys know, my private consults are $600. And this VIP, it will be $197. It's $97 now, but when you enter in coupon code SAVE50, it's only $47. That drops the lowest price point of it to more than 50% savings. Okay. So basically it's not the 197, it's not the 97. With the coupon code, it's $47 for the VIP. So you get a choice of no cost or VIP. But I'll tell you, no cost is, but it's going to give you some information. But the VIP is such a deeper dive. So if you have any symptoms, if you're exhausted, reaching for another cup of coffee, another Red Bull, your pain is holding you back from doing things that are bringing you more joy, your weird rashes, your eczema, psoriasis, you're afraid to go out to the beach in the summertime, or your IBS makes you cancel plans or maybe not even make plans. I don't want your signs and symptoms or autoimmune flares holding you back anymore. So get in where you can fit in. I highly recommend the VIP because it's going to be a much deeper dive for the price of a lunch. Okay. So that's the QR code right there. And like you might have heard me say before, it will not change my life if you come or not. Okay. But I know it can be the start of transforming yours for a whole new, awesome 2026 like you haven't had in years, to give you more energy, more pep in your step, happiness, more joy, more laughter, doing things that you couldn't do for the past few years. So that's all I want to say is I love each and every one of you unconditionally, if you come or not. But you gotta mark your calendars for Wednesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. EST sharp, and you have to register, otherwise you will not have access to it. When you register for the no cost, if there are VIP seats left, there will be a pop-up video that says, hey, you want one. And then you can enter in the coupon code SAVE50. That's all I want to say is getting out of your comfort zone is scary, but I want you to know that you are worthy. You are deserving. This is 1 hour out of hundreds in the month. And if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your child, your spouse, and your aging parent. You cannot afford to get sick. So, don't say, like, how can I make this? How can you make the time if you get sicker? How can you make the time if you stay sick and you can't do what you need to do? So it's not selfish. It is selfless to take 1 hour out of hundreds in the month to help yourself get better, feel better, have more energy, be happier. Because you know what I realized is I was the nurse practitioner taking care of the world. And I'm like, wait a second, who's taking care of me? Oh, that's right. I have to do it or no one's going to do it. Okay, so you're taking care of everybody. There's no one to take care of you. You got to take care of you. So you are worthy. You are deserving to treat yourself as good, if not better, than you treat your bestie. It's 1 hour out of hundreds in this month, and there is no cost. So that's all I want to say is mark your calendars, February 11th, 7 p.m. Scan the QR code or go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. And I hope to see you there. And I hope to see you on the VIP session where I can see your beautiful face, hear your struggles, and help you individually move forward. So that's all I got to say. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you there. Keep in mind, it's Wednesday after next. And next Wednesday, we'll have a special guest. Next Wednesday, Shayna Show.
Finding the strength deep inside. Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride.